Guys, I'm cracking up right now because I feel like unintentionally I'm channeling Kristen Stewart's hair last night. Side do. A lot more blonde than mine. Okay, I flipped it this way. This is what you're getting. Okay, it is my recap episode. You knew this was coming. Episode 10. The awards are over. Finally. I say that in the best way possible. I am happy to have a portion of my life back because as fun as it was talking to you guys, for 2 months watching the 23 films and like organizing when I would watch them during the week and planning it around my work schedule, and then not only doing it but editing it and uploading it took a lot of time. So here's to hoping I'll get back outside running, maybe take those dance lessons I've been wanting to do, and catch up on shows that I've missed out on because I've been focusing on films. So I just want to start. You know the elephant in the room. We know we're going to talk about Will Smith and Chris Rock. But I want to end with that. So I first want to say I'm proud of myself. So there's 23 awards, guys. I got 19 out of 23, which is pretty solid, but I'm angry at myself because in my mind, I really feel like I got 21 out of 23, and I will tell you why. I knew that CODA was going to win Best Adapted Screenplay and Best Picture. I knew it even up to the moment where I wrote Power of the Dog for each of these before I submitted it to my work, before I did the video for you guys. But I guess I was hoping that maybe the Academy would recognize a more artsy film and things would sway, the pendulum would sway a little bit more towards The Power of the Dog. That didn't happen. They both won. CODA won for both. So I feel like I knew it was going to be that, and I should have changed my answer, and I almost changed it right before the awards, but I didn't think it was fair because I told you guys I would keep what I quoted in the film. The other two, though, I completely stand by my decisions on them, and I am quite shocked that they didn't win. So in my mind, guys, I'm going to say I got 21 out of 23, although in actuality, I got 19. Which, if you did the math, let's ask Google. Google, what's 19 divided by 23? She's thinking. Okay, Google, what's 19 divided by 23?
19 divided by 23 is approximately 0.83.
An 83%, guys. That is not good. Someone who got really good grades in school for the most part, like starting in sophomore year, I would have cringed at this. This kept me up at night, I think, because if this was a history exam and I changed 2 questions and I could have got a 90 something instead of an 83, that would have kept me up, and it did. But I will tell you the 2 awards I got wrong. Animated shorts. All right, I know. I didn't even see the animated shorts, but I did research on it, and I looked at clips of each. And the cutest one, if I didn't even read reviews, I would have chosen Robin Robin, which coincidentally was the pick to win. And it did not win. The windshield wiper won. So I stand by Robin Robin. I wish it won, and I would not have changed it. The other one, which I'm shocked about, is original screenplay. Yes, I got both screenplay awards wrong. I am ashamed. I thought for sure it was going to Licorice Pizza. If in some alternate universe another one won, I thought perhaps the worst person in the world could take it. Belfast, Kenneth Branagh ended up taking it. Am I psyched? Yes, because I loved that film, as you guys know. And I love Kenneth Branagh, and he is overdue for that, and it's well deserved, but I just didn't think it was going to win. And honestly, I do think that Licorice Pizza is a little bit more unique with a screenplay, so I did feel that that should have won. I wouldn't have changed my mind on those 2. So Licorice Pizza, Robin Robin, lost out to the windshield wiper, and Belfast. But again, Best Picture and Adapted Screenplay, also CODA, which I gave both to The Power of the Dog. The Power of the Dog came up with only one, guys. Best Director, which we all saw, Jane Campion. I was proud about that. Everything went off as planned for Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Supporting Actor, Best Supporting Actress. I don't think anything else was a surprise, honestly. We knew Dune was going to take it for all the technical awards. We knew Cruella was going to get costume, and Tammy Faye was going to get makeup and hairstyling. I was crossing my fingers, scared that original score would go to The Power of the Dog, but it did end up going to Hans Zimmer for Dune. although I liked Power of the Dog better, I am happy that Hans got it after 12 nominations and only one win. It's nice to see him win again. Encanto did win for animated feature, but it did not win for original song. No Time to Die, Billie Eilish and Phineas for the Bond movie, No Time to Die, won. So that's the biggest for the award. So yeah, the first time in my life actually watching not every single one. Okay, I have friends and people I know who watched all 53 of these, but I only watched 23. But I did watch, as we know, the main Best Picture, Best Actor, Actress ones. And I feel like it did help. Knowing a lot about the Oscar talk, watching them, forming my own opinions, I did feel very confident going into this. And really, I should have just bet some money. So I could have won that at the end of the day. I talk about the show itself. Now, for someone who's been, I've been leading up to this for, I started it end of January, but I was thinking about it early January, knowing I wanted to do it. So this is like literally a 3-month affair, if you think about all that January, February, March. For me, it's more of watching the movies than that night. I do love looking at the fashion and seeing what everybody's wearing. I was impressed by some, although I was not blown away. I'm definitely someone who but is way more traditional when it comes to the awards. I really value like the old Hollywood feel, which I feel like we're coming away from. And it's only more apparent during last night's awards that things, to me, in one word, feel chaotic. Chaotic is the best way I can express it. For years, we've been told that the awards run too long and that people are bored with them. So, they're trying to mix things up. How do we maybe have people, more presenters, presenters from not just films, but as we saw last night, from music and from sports. We saw, kind of random, we saw Tony Hawk, who my brother said supposedly has a broken leg, yet couldn't tell on stage. Shaun White, and then I think Tyke said the one in the middle was a surfer, and they kind of introduced the Bond film, 60 Years of Bond, which was cool, but kind of random. And I think they're trying to draw in other audiences. We have seen a lot of things shift. So this year they said they were going to announce 8 awards off stage. Like it was very quick. Like they set it up where they would say the nominees very quickly, and they wouldn't have a presenter. It would just be on the screen, and they'd come up and say like a quick word or two. It was makeup and hairstyling and some of the editing awards. A lot of people were miffed at that because these are some people that will never get a chance to actually be on screen as some celebrities, and it's their moment, and it's kind of stripped for them. And the thing that I thought was so funny was that this was implemented to make the awards shorter. Typically it's from 8 to 11 every year. And I read that this was the longest one in like 3 to 4 years. It literally went past to 11:30. So they cut the awards, but they added it with nonsense, in my opinion. Like weird little skits from the hosts, Amy Schumer, Wanda Sykes, and Regina Hall. There was the one part where Regina Hall was supposed to be Tammy Faye, Wanda Sykes was supposed to be Richard Williams, and Amy Schumer, Spider-Man. I thought it just fell kind of flat. It reminded me of a bad SNL skit. Was not a fan of that at all. The other things that I noticed was the monologues I thought were disjointed. To me, I was like, why do we need 3 people here? And after they did the 3-person monologue, Amy Schumer comes out and does another monologue on her own. And then we really didn't see Amy. Then Wanda and Regina kind of were inserted throughout the show. And then Amy comes back out at the end. So I was like, what is the point of 3 hosts? And I didn't feel like they had chemistry together. I didn't think a lot of the jokes landed. There were a few that were funny, and I probably chuckled, but I thought some of them were, I don't know, they just weren't really well thought out, and they were kind of low-hanging fruit. I thought that the performances, first of all, that Reba McEntire performance, yawn, and I love Reba McEntire, but that song, how was it nominated? No mention of the Van Morrison song, because we know he's basically canceled. I did enjoy the Billie Eilish song more than all of them, but still, slow to me. I like the "I had no time to die," like that's stuck in my head, but I would not want to listen to that song like over and over again. And it didn't have a moment. Like the last time I remember a song moment was probably Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga, because the Shallow song was so bold and we were all like, that looks like a real kiss at the end. Remember that one? Remember Bradley and Lady Gaga? And then I gotta watch that again. Like that was at least drama. Obviously these were siblings, but it's like I didn't feel that at all. I didn't really like the Encanto song, and I really like that Beyonce song, but not I can't explain it. I like it, but it feels very repetitive and it feels like it goes on and on. The production was great. I liked the color to match the tennis ball. I did like that opening. I thought that was good. But the whole thing for me really fell flat. And then we have the talk of it all. The talk for years will be Will Smith and Chris Rock. And let me just tell you, like most people, everyone I was watching it with, we thought it was staged. I clearly saw Will Smith laugh when Chris Rock said the joke about his wife. And as you look at both Will and Jada, Will is laughing and Jada is ticked off. Understandably so. I must say that she has been very vocal in the past few months, I think. So it is, I'm pretty believe, common knowledge that she has alopecia, which is a condition, an autoimmune disorder where you lose your hair, and a lot of women end up having to shave it. Well, because that is nothing to make fun of at all. And I read about this about a month ago, and I did not remember it when I saw her at the awards. I just thought it was like, oh, that's kind of cool, you shave your head. Like I didn't even think about it, because I know a few friends who have done that recently, and it's like, if you're bold enough to do it, do it. So I forgot about this when Chris Rock said it. Going through my mind, I was like, okay, it's a little jab. But when I saw her face and how mad she was, I was like, well, she's really not taking a joke, but she'll get over it. I'll get back to the reaction and the slap and all of that. But I do want to say, like, of course, I never think somebody should make fun of someone for a medical condition. No one should be made fun of at all, but especially for something that's out of your control, a medical condition. Number one, we could suppose, maybe, we can't say this for sure, maybe Chris Rock didn't know, okay? Most likely he probably did, but maybe he didn't know. Secondly, can we talk about the fact that G.I. Jane was super hot? I mean, she was Demi Moore. I mean, it was played by Demi Moore. When I think of G.I. Jane, I think of like a badass woman who's really beautiful and like secure in her own femininity and strength. And to me, like I honestly in the moment thought of it more as a compliment. The other thing that I did listen to another YouTuber who spoke on this, and I agree with him. He said like it was kind of weak of Chris Rock because G.I. Jane was like a long time ago. So many people maybe even watching the show, younger audiences, don't even know that movie or remember it. So it might have been lost on many people too. So all that to say, I forgot about it, therefore Chris Rock could have forgot about it. Secondly, I thought it was kind of a compliment. I thought it was just a dumb joke. I was like, you could have done better than that. I've heard way more harsh jokes than that at these awards. I'm sorry, I cannot think of them off the top of my head, but I remember thinking like, that would make me mad. And we've seen celebrities like give them a ticked off look in the audience, not like brushing it off. But all of that to say, I lost a lot of respect for Will Smith last night. And I've always been a huge fan of him. You guys look back at my videos. I knew he was going to win. Did I really love his performance in King Richard? No. I told you I thought it belonged to Andrew or Benedict because I thought they gave better performances. But I was all for letting him have his moment because he is such a great actor. I just cannot believe that he ruined his night and the other people associated with his film, and even let's talk about Questlove, his award after that, by this moment of giving into his ego and his pride. And The way I know that is he laughed when Chris Rock first said the joke, and Jada did not. The camera cuts away. All I can assume, and many people feel the same way, I was up all night reading Twitter. Many people think he looked over and noticed his wife was clearly upset and decided to do something about it. Okay. I am traditional. If someone was making fun of me, I would want Tag to stand up for me. That's 100% right. I would. But I am also a huge believer that the way you handle things discredits not your opinion, but your feelings towards that. Okay? You get into an argument with someone really, really hurts you, right? And you feel badly, and you throw something at their car window and you smash their window. You can't use the excuse they said something really bad to me, they deserve it. You are just as bad. And honestly, the spotlight becomes more on you for your reaction than what you were responding to. But that takes the focus off the person, and your reaction becomes all about that. Will Smith could have handled it in such a classy way. He could have shown distaste. He could have spoken with Chris Rock afterwards. He could have even said something from his chair, minus the vulgarity, right? Hello, guys. Obviously, I've sworn before. But when you are in a classy venue, everybody dressed up, thinking you're carrying yourself in a certain way, you are looked up to by not just your peers, but younger people. There's an appropriateness in the way you're supposed to carry yourself. And this man is literally moments, maybe not moments, like at least a half hour away from what everyone, 95% knows he's going to win Best Actor, right? So to lower yourself to defending your pride or your wife's honor, and that strips it all for me, because now it's not even you, it's not even the event, it's not even what they said, it's how you reacted. Right? So even if he was angry, maybe he could have said something like, I don't appreciate that. He didn't have to go into a spiel of like, my wife has a medical condition, but maybe they would have had words after. Okay. Even if he said something heated, again, I don't think he should have sworn, like the way, if you listen to the Australian clip and he says it twice, keep my wife's name out your effing mouth. The way he says it the second time almost scares me. Like it sounds like otherworldly. It's just so, and you can see the people around, especially poor Lupita, see the people around like, oh gosh, this isn't a joke anymore. Because when he walks on stage, he almost looks like he's laughing as he walks on stage. And after he slaps Chris, watch it again, he walks back to his seat and he has a teeny little smirk on his face. So I'm like, this was definitely staged. But the way he was saying, get my wife's name out your mouth, and Chris's reaction, how just disheveled and distracted. I know that feeling when you're like, okay, I have to save face. But I was just, I know the feeling of like, I have to save face, and I was just slapped. But I have to save face, but I'm really uncomfortable. What do I do? He stumbled over his words. He said we have to give a documentary instead of an award for documentary. He still, in my mind, played it off as classy as he could. He could have stormed off the stage. He could have sworn back. I thought he handled himself pretty well. And yet we still have the awards go on. Poor Questlove, I do feel like his moment was taken away because everybody was on their phones. I know myself, I couldn't even focus on the awards. I was like texting friends on Twitter, talking to my family. We were all doing this. I mean, name one person really that listened to all of Questlove's speech, honestly. And that's a shame. And Will Smith robbed him of that. And I also feel that Will Smith robbed his family, the Williams family, and everyone associated with that film, the other actors. Because that was not just a win for him, it was a win for their whole production and their whole film. And it became a sob story of him crying and quasi-apologizing because Chris Rock did not get an apology. And I don't care what anybody says. You do not meet acts of whatever, bullying, if you want to call him what he did, bullying, you do not meet it with violence. And especially what we're talking about now, we are trying to combat violence, war in Ukraine. So why are we meeting this with violence? And the fact that the Academy didn't step in, the fact that there were not, I know he was right on the stage. He literally, there was no one in front of him. He had a front row seat. But it was a long time, like walking up, the slap, moving back, yelling. I do feel that some sort of security could have gotten involved. Like, I would love to look back and see how much time actually elapsed from that joke to the end, to, let's say, Questlove accepting, because nobody jumped in, which is why we thought it was a skit, part of it. But the fact that we swept it under the rug and still honored a man and gave him a standing ovation, and other celebrities coddled him and cried with him and gave him advice, and then Chris Rock is just like shoved in the back, right? Oh, this is not your moment. He's getting an award. I feel like it was disgusting, because if I were to do that in workplace, with my peers, that would not be okay at all. And I feel like Will Smith acted like, this was 2 years ago. I've thought about it. You've all like let me back in. No, it was like a half hour ago, and people are praising him. And I'm really worried that the narrative will be like, oh, you need to stand up for everyone you believe in. That's what his speech said. His speech said, love makes you do crazy things. I'm a vessel of God. I'm here to express love. All the antithesis of actually what he did. If he phrased it in a way, I wish that I want to, going forward, be a vessel of God. I want to speak love. I do defend my family, but that is not the way that you defend. It would have been met with better reception all around. And I think more people are feeling this way. I don't know if the tables are turned. I'm just thinking probably the other communities are like, oh, a man has to stand up for his woman. I agree with that. I just think there are better ways. Violence is never the answer. Never, especially when you're laughing 5 minutes beforehand and then you change your mind, and then to me, it's disrespectful to everyone. I'm Will Smith. I'm going to do whatever I want right now. I'm in the front row. I don't care about the timing of the show, the other people involved. No man is an island. You have affected everyone. And I'm really sad because I just don't think of Will Smith the same way. Are we human? Do we all make mistakes? Have people forgiven me for bad things I've done? Of course. It's not like I'll never watch his movies again, or like I will, speak hate about him. I don't want to keep that cycle going. But I do think he was wrong, and I think he needs to apologize he apologized to the Academy and to his fellow nominees, but he did not apologize to other people in the building, the Williams sisters, the other actors involved in his show. I think his publicist needs to come up with something better, honestly. And I just think the awards was not, that was some good drama, I have to say, but the awards were not good. And I really think they need to reevaluate going forward. You're doing too much, Academy. Can we go back to standard Hollywood, read the awards, let everybody get dressed up? Why are you trying to infuse it with all this different pop culture stuff? Just be what you are. Don't try to be the Grammys. Don't try to be a sports entertainer. Don't try to be the Super Bowl. Just be what you are, or else we're going to go Golden Globes and we're not going to have these awards anymore. And that would be a tragedy, because then these people would not be honored, internationally or whatever. But anyway, all that to say, this is a rant. This became a rant. I enjoyed this experiment a lot. The most fun was not even the show. The most fun was watching these and talking to you guys and having some great conversations with people who followed along, whether I just met you through this or we've been friends forever. It's like Ty and I were talking about this last night. Movies are just the ultimate connector and communicator, right? It transcends languages, right? Sign language. We can use subtitles for languages we don't know. But the messages that they get along to vast, large audiences huge and so telling and so important. It's an art that can reach people for good. So like let's not have awards that like take away from that fact that we're trying to get a message across and not the wrong message. So I hope I do this again next year. I hope there are some even better films and better talent and new talent and returning faces. And I hope I'll be back talking to you guys again soon about another topic. I haven't decided yet. If you want to hear me talk about something, whether that's a topic, a show, a movie, anything, can you please leave me some suggestions? I could really use suggestions on that. I will leave you with this.